What's up guys, Brennan here. Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be doing a tutorial for the Goosebumps theme song. Alright, let's get right into it. Also, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I do new videos every week, piano covers, tutorials, original songs, and I appreciate every single one of you. Alright, let's get into it. So we're going to start with learning the right hand beginning part, which is like this. Okay, so that is your thumb on D, and you go up to, so that's D, E, F, skip G here, and you go up to A. So just try all four of those. D, E, F, A. Try it with me. Then you go E, F, and then it starts over. E, F, D, E, F, A, E, F, D, E, F, A, E, F, D, E, F, A, E, F. So take a second and just practice doing that little pattern because you have to play it pretty fast in the original song. So it's like this. Okay? So in the left hand, you're just going to play D octaves. And what that means is you're playing D down here and you're playing D up here. And you just play those at the same time. And to put both of these parts together, you play in the left hand right when you start the D in the right hand. So it's like this. And you just hold that the entire time. You don't repeat it or anything. And you go over this pattern 10 times at the beginning. And then at the end of the pattern, on the 10th time, you go. And then there's a pause. And then you go into the. So just practice doing that 10 times. And you could start counting when you hit D. So it's like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then you hold it and you pause, and then now we're going to go into the next part. So then your hand goes down here and you're going to have your thumb on F, pointer finger on A, and pinky on D. Now, how this is going to go is these two fingers stay exactly where they are. On F and A. The only thing that moves is your pinky. So it goes like this. So you play, then you move down to C, and then you play this once. So you go F, A, D twice, F, A, C twice, and then F, A, B once. So try that with me. It is easiest not to play it all with your pinky. So I usually do D with my pinky, C with my fourth finger, and B with my middle finger. So try that with me. So after you do this part here, your hand jumps back up to higher, up here like you were doing at the beginning. You go F, D, B flat, A. So that's F, D, B flat, A. And it goes quick like this. So just practice that, getting your hand in the right formation. Then after that, your left hand plays D sharp, C sharp, D. So all together, starting from this first part we just learned, so it goes. And then this repeats. So just the right hand part, you play a second time. So let's just practice that whole phrase together, okay? Okay, now you're going to have both hands down here. This is the part in the song where it goes. So you're going to be playing a lot at the same time, so it's a little tricky. You're going to be playing the same keys in the right hand and the left hand. So you're going to play D, D sharp, D, F, D, F sharp, and it's going to go in like a pattern. So it's going to be like this. So then on the third time, instead of doing the whole pattern, you go back to D. So let's just go over that again. So the pattern is you're hitting D in between these three notes. So it's like this. D, 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 D. Third time. So third time is... So let's just go over this again. Nice and slow. D, D sharp, D, F, D, F sharp. Then it repeats. D, D sharp, D, F, D, F sharp. Now third time you go D, D sharp, D, F, back to D. So all together it's... Okay, so now let's put everything we've learned thus far together. Did you jump down here and do? Okay, now the next part is just in the right hand, and you do this little kind of scary little walk up. So it's like this. And this is a little tricky to memorize where your hands go on the keys, but just practice this part over and over and it'll get easier and easier. So the first one you do, this little group, is E, F, and A. So just try that with me, E, F, and A. Then your hands move up to this formation. So you go from here to this formation. G, G sharp, C. So just try moving from these two. Last one is A, B, and D sharp. So practice, first one, move position to this one. A good tip is to always be thinking where you're going next before you get there, because then you won't delay. So it's like this. Move, move. So then at this point, after you do this, then it goes back to the little down here in the left hand, and then you go. And then you repeat that part. Okay? Now we get into a part we have not learned yet. So it's this little... And then it repeats. Okay, so this is probably the trickiest part of the whole song. So in the right hand, you're doing this little walk down pattern, and the only thing you're hitting in the left hand is G. So you're hitting something in the right hand, and G comes in between each one that you hit in the right hand. So it's like this. But obviously fast, it sounds really complex, like... It's really cool. Okay, so we're going to learn just the right hand, because obviously that's all you're playing in the left hand is G. So it's like this. So that's G, G sharp, F, G. Then you skip down. You don't play E. You play D sharp. So that's So that's D sharp, F, D, D sharp. Then you skip and go to C, D, A sharp, C, end on G sharp. That's really tricky. So the best way to learn this little phrase is to play it over and over and memorize it. So let's just go over it nice and slow. G, G sharp, F, G, D sharp, F, D, D sharp, C, D, A sharp, C, G sharp. Very, very confusing. So I'm going to play it without me talking just so you can hear how it sounds and memorize it. Okay, so let's go over that again and memorize it. Now I'll say the notes. G, G sharp, F, G, D sharp, F, D, D sharp, C, D, B flat, C, G sharp. Again, without me talking. So let's go over it one more time, nice and slow. G, G sharp, F, G, skip to D sharp, F, D, D sharp, C, D, B flat, C, G sharp. This is a lot of notes at once, so if you're having trouble, do not worry and just practice this over and over. Watch this part of the video over and over. And if you need any help, just let me know in the comments below. So now let's put both hands together because this does kind of make it easier. So the G note goes in between each time of the right hand. So it's like this. You start in the right hand. So it's like this. Okay, remember just that you start the whole pattern in the right hand first. You don't play this G in the left hand until after this. It's like this. Okay, and then it repeats an entire time. So just know that you're only doing this one key, G, in the left hand, and it goes in between each part of the right hand that we learned. Starting in the right hand, you don't do the left hand first. So let's go over it one more time, and then we're gonna practice it at full speed. One more time. So full speed, it's like this. Then it repeats. Okay? Now, at this point, you have both hands together and you're playing the same keys. So it starts on G sharp, and you go. Just remember, because you're playing with different hands, that your fingering in the left hand is going to be different than the right hand. I usually do, in the left hand, I start it on my pointer finger and then I cross my thumb over because you're going to play more stuff down here. And that allows more of your hand to be where you need it. Whereas if I was playing it with my pinky, then my hand is mostly up here and I need it to be down here. So you go like this: G sharp, G, F. Now at this point in the right hand, I usually cross over, but in the left hand, I have plenty of room. So it's G sharp, G, F. Now you go F, D sharp, D. So that's try that with me. So you're playing this F twice because you go G sharp, G, F, F, D sharp, D. Now you go D, C, B. D, C, B. So all together. So F and D, you're playing twice, but the rest you play once. So it's like this. Full speed. So it has to be pretty quick. So now let's try putting both of these parts we learned starting from this pattern. Okay, so we're going to put both parts together. Repeat. Now your left hand needs to go right here because you're going to be playing both at the same time, right? But the right hand just stays because that happens to be where this other part ends. So your hands go here and then you go. Okay? So let's try that part putting it together. Then we'll move on to the next part of the song. Here we go. Repeat. Move the hand. Now at this point, you go back to this beginning phrase. Then you go. Then the part we already learned. Okay? Now, the part that you normally do is a little bit different. So we're going to get into that, okay? So the first part is the same. Then it goes. So just to go over it. So the third time, you don't play the full phrase, just like on the other pattern. So it's F, F sharp, F, G sharp, F. Okay, so all together. Now we're going to put both of these parts together. So all together. Okay? Then after that point, you go back to the first part that we learned. Then you go. Then the last part is. Just like we learned. And then at the very end, instead of just doing it with one hand, you're actually going to do both hands. So you're playing the same exact thing in the left hand that you are in the right hand. Okay, so in the right hand, your thumb is the one moving. Okay, so it's like this. So all together. So now I'm going to run through the whole thing from start to finish. Okay, here we go. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed learning this tutorial. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to let me know in the comments below and I'll try and help out. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I do take requests for tutorials and I appreciate every single one of you who learned something from my videos, and I will see you next time.